Hi, welcome back to 72 Sold Arizona Lifestyle Podcast with Holly Waxman and my three favorite friends here today. We've got Ryan Nelson with Barrett Financial. Welcome, Ryan.
Welcome. Thank you.
Welcome. And Pam Heward with Coaching and Lifestyle Transitions.
Thank you.
Thank
Glad
you.
to
And
be
a
here.
special friend that I've known for a lot of years. Our sons went to school together.
That's right.
That's right. And believe it or not, Pam is from Chicago and the same stomping grounds as I was when we grew up together. And then we didn't know each other and we came out to Scottsdale to meet.
That's right. It's hard to believe just how many years ago, but yes, that's right.
Yes. And thanks for joining us. And of course, my favorite and only daughter, Britney Waxman with 72 Sold.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Brittany. Thanks for coming. You look so pretty.
Thank you. Thank you.
She does. She really does.
And Pam saw her. She's like, wow, Brittany, you grew up. What happened?
I know.
She knew her since she was like 3 or 5.
How come they keep getting older and we don't? I don't understand.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Well, today I'm really happy that you were able to come because we talk about a lot of communities and Pam lives in a 55 plus community. If you can share a little bit about it and what you like about it. And
Sure. I live in a community called Fountain of the Sun. It's in the East Valley in Mesa. And I made the decision that I wanted, as my kids went off to go do their thing, that I wanted to live somewhere where I actually knew my neighbors. We said hello to each other. We engaged with each other. So moving out on my own, that seemed like the logical choice. So I actually looked at quite a few. So, and I know there's some beautiful ones all over Scottsdale and the East Valley, but my kids happen to live out east, so that kind of helped me make that decision.
right. And then how big is it and what activities do you participate in? And
Well, in terms of size, there's about 2,600 homes.
wow, it's pretty big.
So some are what they call stick homes. Some are condos. They have a lot of different.
What is stick homes?
It's just a built home as opposed to a manufactured home.
Okay.
They call them stick homes for some reason.
Built up.
And then, I obviously wanted a home and a yard. I have animals and, grandkids to come over. So after looking at a whole lot of them, I decided that this was the community that felt good. It's an older one, and I'm a pickleball player. So we have pickleball courts, we have pools, fitness. They even have a coloring club. I don't know if any of you know about the adult coloring books. I mean, so you can do as much or little as you want, and I like that.
So you have a calendar on the internet, or that gets delivered, or
Yeah, they do it they still deliver a newsletter because, some of us old people aren't good on the.
you're that old.
But they have it all online too. So you can do as much or as little as you feel like.
So they have activities every day.
Yeah, as much as you want to
Parties.
do. I mean, they have hiking groups that go all over the state. So, on different hiking excursions, they have, people who, if you want to go to Vegas, a group goes to Vegas, or you can do, there's a billiards club. They have a billiards room if you like to shoot pool. So you can just choose whatever you want to do. Line dancing, I don't do that. But lots of people enjoy doing that. So, and very nice people. Everyone is retired, mostly semi-retired. So it's a very relaxed, friendly, close community.
That's great. Believe it or not, I went line dancing for the first time this weekend. It was my birthday. And Brittany and my kids, we went for Italian food. And then we went, where did we go, Brittany? In Cave Creek.
Went to Buffalo Chip. It's a beautiful, chic club in Cave Creek. If you know Buffalo Chip, you definitely know chic and
It was a Western.
is definitely the word for it. No, it's Western. It's quite, old fashioned. It's really cute. It's got like a bunch of different areas to it, and you'll never
Outside,
get bored.
inside. Yeah. Dancing. People asked me to dance. I met some cowboys.
Oh yeah,
Fun.
some cattle ranchers, right?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's a whole way of it. You always got to go for the rancher, never the cowboy.
Right,
the
right.
ranchers are the ones that have
There's
the
rules.
land.
Okay.
And
It was fun. So, thanks, Brittany, for helping celebrate my birthday.
of course, it was so fun.
Another year. Ryan, what's happening in their wonderful market these days?
Well, it's more of the same. The rates have moved up over the last few months. Federal Reserve met today and got to review some of the things that they had said. They are still very committed to bringing down inflation to a 2% figure. They're open to increasing rates again. However, data that's been coming out over the last 6 weeks has shown some cracks and some slowdowns. So most of the economists don't believe they're going to hike anymore from here. So
That's good news.
it is good news, and it's really a waiting game. I do see that rates are going to stay at elevated levels for another good 3-4 months, but hopefully middle of next year we'll see some easing based upon where the numbers go from here. So it's good to see that. I think we're at the tail end of it finally with the increases in rates, and which has made it a little more challenging in the real estate market. But I do see some greener pastures ahead.
Well, that's good news. I know when Brittany and I are doing different sales this month, we with a buyer we have on Earl Drive, we have concessions and such, or
There's lots of
ways that buyers are able to bring down their interest rates.
Yeah, and there's definitely creative ways to do it. So there's always an option, always a will, there's a way.
That's right.
Yep, exactly.
And it's still better than renting a home.
It is.
So, so Pam, tell us about when you're doing career transitions.
Okay, sure. So I'm a certified career and life transition coach.
So, for kids that have special needs, or just
I find that if you were to ask me my niche, because people ask that a lot, I would tell you that I've worked with kids just out of school. I've worked with adults who are in their 50s and 60s and trying to figure out their next act, and everyone in between. But I tend to work with people who come to me and say, I know there's something better, but I feel stuck. I don't know how to get from here to there. How do I do this? So that's the area where come to talk to me about that, because we're going to get you unstuck and figure it out. So
is there a strategy or a program?
Well, I would call it a process if I were to call it anything, because I've learned that people talk to each other a lot, but people rarely listen well. So
it's true.
So it's the ability to listen at a level that they've not experienced before. So they say things that they think are the things they're supposed to say to get a job or to change or get a promotion or whatever. But when I will question one question about, well, tell me, why is it that you said such and such? You see the deer, or the deer in the headlights, because somebody told me I'm supposed to say that. So it's starting there and figuring out, all right, truly, who are you? And creating what I call their personal brand. Who are you and what do you have to offer that's of value to an organization or a company out there? You figure that out, creating resumes and profiles and online presence becomes very easy. So the hard work comes in creating the brand and saying, who are you and how are we going to put you out there in a way that is exciting? I mean, similar to making sure you stage a house.
Right.
You can have a great house, but if it's full of a bunch of junk and noise and no one will see it. Well, the same is true for each person I work with and their career.
I have a dear friend who I've been friends with forever, and she's coming out to visit. And she just recently got divorced, and she's trying to, she's moving from Chicago, and she's been a mom for all these years and a housewife, and now she's trying to figure out where her place is, So she would be someone that would be so...
See, that's perfect, because you think you can go online and read, but after a while, you really need to work with somebody. This is my world you've entered. Now I get it. And I promise you that if you tell me, I will hear something in what you're telling me that you hadn't thought of before. And we're gonna blow that up for you. And the success in your career often depends on your excitement and energy about it. And if you're feeling unsure, no one's going to talk to me. I'm over 50, I'm over 60, or I'm too young, or I'm too, whatever the excuses are. It comes through every time you talk to somebody. So we got to start with the person first and get you excited about what's next. The rest of the steps always fall into place once we do that.
Right. I know for myself, I feel pretty lucky I fell into real estate just as a hobby. You know, it's certainly a career, but it's a lifestyle. Every day I wake up and it's like Britney said to me the other day, we never get a day off. No, because I love it. There's always something to think about. There's always something, you know, I might take some hours off, but there's always, you know, this is a type of field that, which I love, that there's always, you know, if someone else has free time and they want to know about the home I have listed or a home that they saw, and we're there to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about solving people's problems.
Right.
That's right.
You know, helping them, you know, realize their dreams and, you know, what's possible. And with real estate, there's obviously, everybody has to have a place to live. And, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, you can rent and pay someone else's mortgage. You can have your own mortgage. You know, and there's so much variety in the real estate world with where to live. You know, the things that communities offer. You know, the amenities, and you know, Arizona's got it all in regards to so many different options in regards to real estate. So huge opportunities.
One of the aspects I really love working with you, Ryan, is that you're so great with numbers and looking at the person from the financial number point, that when we collaborate and we have an individual and you're always available, at least, you know, at least whenever I need you. And I thank you for that. But he looks at the numbers, so we can make sure that what we're falling in love with is something that's going to feel good and it's going to be comfortable financially, which is a big component of buying a home or living somewhere, or, you know, building health and happiness, good memories.
So I have a question for you guys. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go for it. Absolutely.
So one of the things I've noticed, and this is from my career perspective, is that because of the one gift of the pandemic, not the bad thing, but it is that people realized and companies realized that you don't have to live, you know, next to an office where you work. The remote world, working from home, exploded. So I found that in working with people, a lot of people chose to sell their homes in places like California or other very expensive states, and they came to a lot to Arizona and a lot to Texas. Those were the comments I received. Did you find the same thing was happening, that you saw people able to take their California dollars and come and buy, and because they wanted to be in Phoenix?
Absolutely. And I have a great friend who's a client who came, him and his wife and their son, and they bought a home here from California, and they were able to, you know, put a lot down because a home in California was so much more expensive than Arizona.
Yeah.
And even since they've been here, they've doubled the home has gone up so much. I mean, that's another great thing, that the appreciation, because it's such a wonderful place to live, is constantly, we've been really lucky, going up or staying the same. And for me, I look at it like a terrific annuity, even better, because we're living here, we're enjoying the wonderful lifestyle, being mostly sunny, especially from Chicago, which I've been at. And I feel safe, you know, there's not the hustle and bustle, and most people are from other places. So, community is easy to form, you know, and there's so many nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that tremendously. It was, you know, prior to the pandemic, it was very unusual for someone to work away from, you know, and their company be located in a different, you know, vicinity from where they lived. That was not common. It was really unusual that someone worked for a company that was out of state and actually, you know, we call them a remote worker, if you will, and lived somewhere else. And that was not the norm. That was just an unusual situation to see a telecommuting type person that, you know, lived somewhere else from where their actual, you know, company was, and worked at home or even worked at a local office. You know, it was very brick and mortar. You worked really close within a reasonable commuting distance from where your home was. And it still bewilders me and amazes me at the pace and how successful companies were to be able to adapt. And it changed, the COVID changed the world. The whole pandemic really changed the dynamics of the work at home relationship. And now it's very common, which was not common before, where people actually are employed and work at a company that's not even remotely close, or their headquarters, or even their facility if they have an office from where their home is. And it was just crazy to see that dynamic and that shift. And Zoom became very big, and just the way companies adapted, still unbelievable on that, how that transformation took place. And it really changed everything. And you saw a ton of people gravitate to Arizona.
That's really true.
And I look at it from a, seeing where, I do loans all over the country, and the property taxes in Arizona are still so unbelievably cheap compared to other places around the country.
California.
Yeah.
Right.
I came here
Chicago.
from California.
Well, and California is cheap compared to, Illinois and New Jersey and Texas, which have, property tax rates that are double or triple what California is. It's crazy. And once people really identified that, and they got the permission, if you will, to be able to live anywhere and realized that they could do that, it really expanded people's horizons. And a lot of them decide, hey, I'm not limited to living here. I've been working from home. I can live anywhere. Why not make a move? And so we saw a tremendous number of people move to Arizona, and it caused, property values to go up, but they're still so cheap compared to everywhere else around the country, or the majority of the country. And,
Absolutely.
Just a great place to be with the sunshine. People in general like the heat more than the cold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can walk inside and get air conditioning really quick. I've noticed it a lot too. And it's interesting to me, watching career pattern, employment over a while, because I've been in the staffing industry. My entire adult life has been in the staffing industry. So from California. So I can tell you that the companies who have been dragged their feet and accepting these hybrid or remote roles lost out on a lot of great people because if they relate to the game, because it is a benefit to a lot of us. But I have a daughter who has 3 small children, and the ability for her to be able to work at home, and if she has to run out to a doctor's appointment with her child, or just she wants to attend a game and then come back and finish her work, and she'll work into the night. That she's a great employee, works a lot of hours, but giving her that flexibility and being open to it, she has been doing extremely well because she has that. So companies that aren't choosing to do that are losing out on people. So it did change the real estate market, but it changed the whole dynamic between companies and employees, and the ability to live your life and still be a productive employee. So it's been interesting to watch over the last few years.
Right. I know for myself, I chose real estate years ago because I was, a mom, and I had kids, and I really loved the flexibility. So it's nice for moms that are working, even in other industries, to have that flexibility. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have anything to say about what your experience was with the pandemic? You had to come home from college, and
I had to come home from college. I was living with my mom again, but it was, I always thought it'd be like, oh, I'd graduate and move out into an apartment or a condo. And then COVID hit like my sophomore year of college, and it was like, everyone out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, Mom, I'm coming home. And then came home, and it was
a party,
a slumber party. Oh my goodness. It was great. I was pressed. I was like I had nothing more to do than just do online school. So I was taking like 8 classes. It was in a room all day with like a window. And I was like, oh, this is my life right now, And
but we went bike riding.
We had a good
golf.
time. We had a good time. We tried to make the best of it, which was really amazing. And a lot of other people didn't have that ability. So I was really lucky. But no, it really pushed me. It really pushed me to get things done and to understand that this is like what's going to push me through. And
Yeah, 8 classes online. I'm trying to
it is horrible. But like, I think the best part of that was the fact that COVID was there. Lots of these instructors didn't plan to have online classes, and now this was their only choice for their job.
Yeah.
And then a lot of things were like, oh yeah, you have group projects and this, that, and this, but actually we're probably not going to be doing any of this stuff because you all can't meet. And yeah, none of them really knew how to work Zoom or anything back then. So it was just like figuring it all out as we go. But no, there's a lot of good benefits of it as well. You know, I got through those 8 classes with some antidepressants and of course by a doctor and everything. But yeah, I needed that at the time. So yeah, it all happened for a good reason. And then, you know, it pushed me through and it really
Here you
worked
are.
hard. And now here I am.
That's right. Good for you.
Yeah.
So you're a pickleball player.
Yes.
So tell us about that. I've never played pickleball, so I've heard good and bad.
Oh, I mean, I it's a lot of fun. So pickleball is kind of a mesh between tennis and ping pong. So you're on like a reduced size tennis court, smaller,
Right.
but you play with a paddle instead of a racket, and it's a wiffle ball. So everything slows down, you know, with the wiffle ball. So what's fun about it is that, you know, the pro players can be really fast and aggressive and competitive, and the rest of us, you know, can play hard and have fun. I mean, you know what it reminds me of in Chicago, you know, we were bowlers because of course it was freezing for half the year. So bowling is the kind of sport where you can be really competitive and great, or you can bowl and, you know, put the whatever those things are in the gutters that you put up and just play and have fun.
Right.
Pickleball is kind of like that. You don't have to be great, but you can be a pro if you want, and everywhere in between. So that's what's fun for me.
Yeah, and it's good exercise.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, I'll have to try that. I did buy the equipment, but now I just have to motivate. Have you played pickleball yet?
Not yet.
All right,
fun,
so
though.
Holly has promised me that, you know, I can teach her. So now I'm putting you on video
Right.
to promise.
Yes, I will. Definitely a lady of my word. We'll set up a time.
Perfect.
So, well, the markets are holding their own, and we're still available for real estate and having fun. And we hope all of you come out to Arizona to enjoy the sun and the fun. Now we're in the best part of the weather.
Yep, it is. It really is. It's nice.
70 to 80 degrees right now. It's
beautiful.
Like the average, which is so beautiful.
Yeah. So come on out, and thank you for being on our show. And Pam, thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you.
And I really think what you're doing with the transitions and coaching, you're terrific at it. I'll definitely recommend some friends to you because we're lucky to know you.
Thank you very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate being here. Nice to meet you all.
And then before we end, Pam, do you have any other questions like that you're hearing from other of your clients about buying a home, or any concerns that you think you can?
Yeah, I did. Thank you for letting me, this is what I get to take back to my clients. But a number of the clients I work with are, late 20s and their 30s, and, looking at this, and from our point of view, a crazy real estate market has been, and, what do they need to do now so that they can be homeowners and not pay these crazy skyrocketing rents?
Right. Well, the first thing that's a great question. The first thing we recommend, of course, is we want, them to talk to a lender and make sure their credit's good. And Ryan's a great lender. We have many first-time home buyer programs that help new home buyers. And then once we're buying homes, we always are able to ask for seller concessions. So we can buy down the rates. And we even have some clients who were able to get them with different loan programs for no money down, or make it so that when they're buying a home, it's as much money or less than if they would go to rent. Because when you have to rent a home, you have to have the first month's rent, the last month's rent, the cleaning deposit.
Yeah.
And sometimes taking those deposits and putting it towards the purchase or their earnest money or their money down, they're able to get in and then if they're working, they can do, there's different tax benefits. But Ryan, you might have some good insight on this.
Well, I mean, it's a great question. So someone wants to buy a home and they're young. What are the options available? And anyone that wants to buy a home, I mean, it comes down to one or two. Okay. Or do you have cash and you're paying cash for the home? Very few people have cash and are paying cash for a home. So you need a mortgage. You got to get financing.
Right.
You know, in the financing realm, it's pretty black and white and really simple. You know, you have to have minimum credit standards. So, and then you got to look at what you can afford. You know, what income do you have compared to, you know, what debt you have and how much can you afford? And then do you have any money? Do you have any money to put down? You know, as Holly was saying, there are programs that'll give you money for the down payment. So really for a lot of younger people, it comes down to, you know, what can you afford on your own and what can you afford with someone co-signing with you? You know, a lot of times, you know, because affordability is a challenge right now, affordability's, you know, really at an all-time low because interest rates are high. Interest rates are, you know, 7.5%, 8% right now. So does that mean you should wait to buy a home? And, you know, it's different people are going to have different situations, but my opinion is if you wait to buy a home, you're most likely going to end up paying a higher price for that same exact home. And the reason is really simple. If you're waiting for interest rates to come down to buy, you're going to see as rates come down, more buyers will be able to afford to buy. And that's going to probably most likely propel home prices higher. So if you wait to buy, you're going to be paying a higher price, most likely, for that same exact home. So what are people doing now today with rates being higher and how can you qualify? Because affordability is really a big challenge right now. And unless you have cash, you're going to be needing a mortgage. Well, what a lot of people are doing right now is they're getting mom or dad or, you know, uncle, you know, a family member, close personal friend to co-sign with them. That way you have more income to qualify than you can qualify for on your own. And if you're going to, you know, not live with mom or dad or a family member and you want to get out on your own and buy a property, that's what a lot of people are doing right now. And I can tell you most of the time it makes sense if you are going to go out on your own and want to, you know, own a property, you're going to be better off partnering up with someone to, you know, have someone pay that mortgage with you, either as a partnership where you're buying the home together and you're both on that mortgage together, which doesn't always work out for everybody, but that's something to look at. And that's a very viable option. And a lot of people will do that. Or you want to buy a property and you can't quite afford it on your own, get someone to co-sign with you, and then have a friend or multiple friends move in with you and help pay that mortgage. I mean, think about it. You want to go and live and you got to live somewhere and you're going to be paying rent. It's going to be most likely a lot cheaper to pay half of a mortgage payment, even with rates being as high as they are right now, versus going and renting somewhere and paying the whole entire payment on your own.
Very true. I'm helping my son right now, and I'm telling you, that's very true.
Yeah, and I mean, I did that exact example, and my timing was good because we bought, you know, when rates were really low. But, and I've told this story before, but, you know, my daughter was living with me. She's 20 years old, and I kind of wanted her out on her own. You know, I mean, it's like, okay, you know, I told you could, she lived with her sister, didn't work out so good. So she moved in with me. And after about 9 months, it's like, I kind of want you to go out on your own again. But going out on her own was not an option. It was going to be way too expensive. So, you know, she bought a home. She, you know, I'd raised her right. She had great credit. And I co-signed with her for that home. So it's in both of our names, but my arrangement with her is, look, it's really simple. I'm going to give you the money that you need. We, you know, put 5% down, and it's going to be your home. Someday when you sell it, you pay me back my 5%, and you can have the future equity. You manage the home. We bought a condo in Mesa, as a matter of fact, and she actually has a roommate, and so, you know, the payment on that property, if she was to rent it out, would be about $1,800 a month. Our mortgage payment with the HOA and everything is $1,400.
Yeah.
and her friend pays $700. So she actually pays $700 a month, with a mortgage versus her going out and renting somewhere, which would cost her $1,800. Or
She sees nothing back from it.
exactly. So those are the strategies and the things to look at. And overall, it is a good time to buy because right now with rates being higher, you're seeing, as Holly was saying, you're seeing sellers give money towards closing costs. So you're getting in for a lot less money out of pocket than you would be if you're in a different environment where rates are low and sellers are not giving you those concessions, if you will. So, and you can always, as long as you have great credit and values, as rates come down, you're going to see home values probably go higher. You can always refinance that property at a lower interest rate when rates come down.
What you're saying is I can go back to my clients like this and say, here's Ryan's information, call him and set up a plan. You're okay with that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, it's what we do, and it's what Holly does, and it's what Britney does every day is helping solve people's problems and getting them into a home.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a home. And I think even just for Britney living in her own condo, how does it feel to you being?
It feels really good. It feels like
Yeah.
I have the independence, I have the power, and I'm not, this is just.
It's the transitioning and where you should be.
Yeah, and at
working
first
toward.
it felt really stressful to pay every month, but now, you grow up and now it's like, oh wow, like I basically live, in a really good situation and I don't feel stressed. It's a good feeling.
And you've met friends in your
Met friends there and it's great.
yeah.
Well,
I think
thank you. Thanks for that input because I think people they get scared and they think, oh,
Of course.
well, my credit's not good enough, so I should just forget it. Well, if it isn't, that you have to have a baseline that you work from to get to somebody like you all will tell them this is where you need to be so you can.
Right.
Exactly.
And I always tell Brittany sometimes, like, we went to a fundraiser organization and, to help raise money for Israel and things like that. And I said, well, you either make the donation or you pay taxes, or you go and you buy a home and you're able to work with your accountant and get some tax benefits, or you give it to taxes. So yes, thank you so much. And we would love to help, and we love to help people, first-time home buyers or people transitioning. And we're here just to be of service.
I think we all are. Even
Yeah,
though we do
absolutely.
different things. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. Please turn in next week for 72 Sold Arizona podcast with Holly Waxman and my special guests and friends. And bye for now.